What if I told you that one of the most important military operations of World War II almost failed before the first landing craft reached the beach? On June 6, 1944, nearly 160,000 Allied troops landed in Normandy by sea and air. But here is the terrifying part. They were not just attacking a beach. They were attacking weather, tides, mines, machine guns, concrete bunkers, and the full weight of Hitler's Atlantic Wall. This was D-Day, and it became one of the most dangerous military missions in modern history. By 1944, Nazi Germany still controlled much of Europe. The Soviet Union was pushing from the east, but to defeat Hitler, the Allies needed to open a major second front in the west. The obvious place to invade was Pas-de-Calais. It was the shortest distance from Britain to France, so the Allies chose somewhere else. Normandy. Farther away, harder to reach, less expected. And then they created one of the greatest military deceptions in history to convince Germany that Normandy was only a distraction. The deception was called Operation Fortitude. One part of it, Fortitude South, created a fake army called FUSAG, the first U.S. Army group. The Allies used dummy tanks, fake camps, fake radio traffic, and double agents. They even made the Germans believe General George Patton was preparing to lead an invasion at Calais. And it worked. Even after D-Day began, German commanders still feared Normandy might be a diversion. That hesitation bought the Allies something priceless: time. But time would not matter if the invasion force never survived the beaches. The invasion was originally planned for June 5th, but the weather turned violent. High winds, rough seas, low visibility. A storm in the English Channel could scatter landing craft, drown soldiers, and blind Allied aircraft. General Dwight D. Eisenhower had to make a decision: delay the invasion and risk the Germans discovering the plan, or launch during a narrow weather window on June 6th. After a long silence, Eisenhower gave the order remembered in history as, "Okay, let's go." Before dawn, more than 18,000 Allied airborne troops dropped or landed by glider behind enemy lines. Their mission was to secure bridges, destroy roads, disrupt German reinforcements, and confuse enemy defenses. But many were dropped in the wrong places. Some landed in flooded fields, some lost their equipment, some had no idea where they were. And yet, small groups began improvising. That chaos actually helped. The Germans could not clearly understand where the main attack was coming from. At dawn, the largest amphibious invasion in military history hit 5 beaches: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, Sword. At Utah Beach, strong currents pushed American troops south of their planned landing zone. But strangely, that mistake helped them. The defenses there were weaker. Omaha Beach was different. Omaha became a nightmare. The beach was wide open. German guns had clear lines of fire. Many amphibious tanks sank in the rough sea before reaching shore. Soldiers jumped into deep water carrying heavy gear. Some drowned before firing a shot. Others reached the sand and found almost nowhere to hide. For a moment, Omaha Beach came dangerously close to failure. This is the part that is easy to miss. D-Day was not saved by one perfect plan. It was saved by thousands of individual decisions. A soldier choosing to move forward when no officer was nearby. An engineer clearing a path through barbed wire. A medic crawling across sand under fire. Small groups found gaps in the defenses. They climbed cliffs. They attacked bunkers from the side. They moved inland step by step. And slowly, impossibly, the beach began to change. The defenders were no longer only shooting down at helpless men. They were being surrounded. By the end of June 6, the Allies had secured a foothold in France. Not a huge one, not a comfortable one, but enough. That beachhead became the doorway into Western Europe. From Normandy, Allied forces pushed deeper into France, then toward Paris, then toward Germany itself. D-Day did not end World War II overnight, but it forced Nazi Germany to fight on 2 massive fronts. The Soviet Union was advancing from the east. The Allies were now attacking from the west. And from that point on, Germany's defeat became only a matter of time. But victory came at a terrible cost. On D-Day alone, the Allies suffered more than 10,300 casualties, killed, wounded, or missing. Many of those soldiers were barely older than teenagers. They crossed the sea into gunfire because the future of Europe depended on it. And for many of them, the first step onto French sand was their last. D-Day changed World War II because it proved something extraordinary. Even the most fortified wall in the world could be broken. Not by luck, not by one commander, but by planning, deception, courage, and sacrifice on a scale almost impossible to imagine. That is why June 6, 1944 is still remembered as the day the road to the liberation of Western Europe began. D-Day, June 6, 1944, the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe. Please subscribe for more History Explained.